It's Easton Podcast EP02, and I'm George Tekmitchov here in Copenhagen, Denmark at the World Archery Championships with Steve the
Big Cat
Anderson. We're at the hotel, Steve. We have just finished the final qualification for the teams for the Olympic Games, and there is good news for some countries and tough news for some others. Starting out with, let's see who's qualified here.
Yeah, on the recurve women's side, we have Brazil, China, Colombia, Georgia, India, Japan, and Korea, along with Mexico, Russia.
Now, those are the teams, those are the countries that have qualified three.
Three slots.
After that, now here are the ones that qualified today with the results. With a single person, or, in the case of some of these countries, by finishing in the top 8 individually.
So countries qualifying one, we have Austria, Germany, Indonesia, Italy, Poland, Chinese Taipei, Ukraine, and USA.
Yeah. So, who didn't you see on there? France, for example.
Did not have a French team.
No French team. And that's scary because France is the biggest federation in world archery, the biggest national governing body in world archery, and that's going to be a tough break for them. It's going to put a lot of pressure on them to try to do well at the continental qualifying tournaments. And with countries like France needing to qualify at places like the Nottingham, England, European event, which is the continental qualifying tournament, well, when a big hitter like France shows up, it makes it a lot tougher for the smaller dogs to pick up a spot.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of room for everyone else to work, and maybe this is good news, maybe this is bad news for the French team, but the conditions in Nottingham probably could be very similar to what we have here.
Now, just as we mentioned with the recurve women, here are the teams that have been qualified under the recurve men's categories. These are for full teams. We've got Australia. Now, Brazil is automatically in because they're the host of the next Olympic Games. I think it's important to mention that. People's Republic of China.
Spain, Italy, Korea, Netherlands, Chinese Taipei, and the USA all earning full quota slots. 3 members will be at the Olympics.
And you can bet the United States of America is relieved to have all 3 men in, but only one woman's slot is qualified right now for the United States.
Yeah, they only pulled one woman via Katuna Lorig's finish individually. However, it may not be Katuna who earns that slot. We need to clarify that. She earned the one quota for the U.S., but does not guarantee her a place in the Olympics.
Crispin Duenas earned a spot for Canada, so Canada has 1 slot.
We've got Colombia with Daniel Bettencourt having a 9th place finish, earning 1 slot there.
Florian Calland earned 1 in the event today, and he did that by taking 1st place, and he has earned a slot for Germany.
Pulling a 2nd place finish in the event today was Iga Agatha Riau of Indonesia.
And then we've got India winning 1 slot for an 8th place finish. That's Mangal Singh Champia of India.
Takaharu Furukawa of Japan, he's going to be shooting for bronze tomorrow, and he pulled their 1 quota spot for the country.
Yeah, because all he had to do was finish in the top 8, and Takaharu was able to make it all the way to the bronze medal final, which is going to be shot this weekend. So we don't know what his final place is, but he's the only guy besides Elias Malave of Venezuela who is still in the competition. The other person besides Elias Malave of Venezuela who has won a slot for his country is the 2008 Olympic champion.
Yeah, Victor Rubin of Ukraine. He came in with a 9th place finish as well, so he made it to the round of 16 and got that slot for Ukraine.
Solid. And so that's the status for the countries that have been vying to make it to the Olympic Games. Again, with the men, just as with the women, no France.
No France either. Yeah, and they
just shocking, really.
Struggled on the men's and women's compound side as well.
You know, it's justifiable to struggle at this event because of a number of factors, but the biggest factor all week, certainly, without a doubt, has been the weather.
Yeah, the wind you can't train for. All it can do is beat you down, and you hope to bring your best stuff in it, but you really, I don't know anyone who sees 30-mile-an-hour wind and goes, this is perfect time to train.
Our finalists for the women's compound category come down to some great shooters. And shooting for the gold medal, it's going to be Crystal Galvin of the United States of America and her opponent, Kim Yun-hee of Korea. Surprisingly, but not surprisingly, for the finals, it's Sarah Lopez who will be facing Maria Vinogradova of the Russian Federation for the bronze medal final.
Yeah, that is. If we were going to predict it at the beginning of the week, we'd for sure be picking Sarah in the gold medal match. But Crystal Gavin of the USA shot a smoker against her and came out with a 1-point win.
Congratulations to your wife, Linda Ochoa, taking 10th place. She's officially ranked 9th I'd say about a 9-way tie for 9th place. But that's just the way these ranking sheets work out. But she's actually, if you did this straight, it would be 10th place finish for Linda Ochoa, so that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Some of the other shooters in here, Toya Cerna of Slovenia and Natalia Avdieva, Russian Federation.
Yeah, Natalia Avdieva, the Russian Federation, who was a World Cup finalist in a top 5 World Cup ranking. She finished 7th. Another one, Yaseem Boston, who cracked the top 8, young shooter from Turkey.
Yeah.
Probably a matter of time before she's in a final.
Well, any one of these women that we see in that segment right there can certainly make. Choi Bo-min of Korea, for example. Danny Brown of GBR. Sandrine Vandianant of France. We got Jyothi Venom here, all in that category. And after that, unless you count Albina Loganova, and Jamie Van Natta, by the way, with a disappointing finish as well. 17th, which is tied like 20 ways. But,
yeah.
Jamie had a tough tournament because she's completely a back tension shooter, and this weather did not lend itself well to that kind of thing. Jamie's another one of those that had a bye, came in, got beat her first time in.
Yeah,
right?
She had one of the higher scores, but just wasn't good enough to win in the head-to-head match.
Not in that weather. Okay, some of the other standouts include, let's see here, Ivana Budin from Croatia and Yumiko Honda from Japan, Lucy O'Sullivan from GBR. So a lot of top shooters here, and Marcella Tonioli was in a 33rd place, and that's about a 16-person tie there.
Yeah, so looking at the medal matches, George, who do you have for predictions there starting with the bronze with Sarah Lopez and Maria Vinogradova.
Sarah Lopez.
Sarah Lopez. Okay, moving on to the gold.
Okay, I'm thinking Crystal Galvin has her chance to shine in the sun, but Kim Yoon-hee's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I think
I predict a shoot-off.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Crystal has had the right attitude all week. I think she's just kind of been rolling through this how she needs to, very workmanlike, and I think Crystal's gonna walk away with this one.
Okay, we've got the compound men's results in front of us right now. First, let's look at who didn't make the finals.
Yeah, starting at the bottom, we have
Braden Galantine.
Yeah, US
not
shooter.
At the bottom, mind you. He's 17th.
Yeah, let's clarify there. Yeah, Braden out in the round of 32, the 116th round, along with some other standouts. Peter Elzinga, Martin Dansbo. Yeah, it was tough conditions out there, and a lot of guys went out that round.
Yeah, Ruben Blandal, Mike Schlusser.
Yeah, Mike went out in the round of 16 against Stefan Hansen, who we're going to see in the gold medal match.
So you're gonna have to forgive me for saying this. This is an unlikely group of finalists making it to the gold medal match. Who are these guys?
The top 8 is not a lot of what I would call the usual suspects, but they're all very talented shooters, so I'm not surprised to see them there. I am surprised to see a lot of people not there.
All right, so our bronze medal contenders are Stefan Hansen of Denmark and Adam Ravenscroft of GBR.
Actually, we've got this. They've got it mixed up. Our bronze medal is going to be between Adam Ravenscroft and Camilo Cardona.
Gotcha. Good call.
So, yeah, they have the
result summary.
We got the results summary screwed up a little bit.
Okay, that leaves it to Rajat Chauhan of India and Stefan Hansen of Denmark for the gold medal final. I'm putting my money on Stefan Hansen.
The way he's been shooting, you really
Home
can't.
crowd.
Yeah, and with Rajat in his first final, and being from India, he's going to have a lot of attention on him. We've seen some of the way the Indian media can handle their athletes, and let's hope he gives his best performance. No, at times they're very harsh. We've seen it with Deepika Kumari and some of the things in her past when they felt she underperformed. But regardless, for Rajat, I think being in the gold medal final is a huge accomplishment.
You may ask yourself, where's Rio Wild in all of this? And we're going to dedicate a separate discussion on that subject later. But suffice it to say that Rio, having signed a scorecard with an incorrect total, was essentially cut from the competition because of losing 100 points on his scorecard.
Yeah, it was a
tragic situation for everybody involved, particularly Rio. The American team, of course, because of that, was dropped out of the cut. We're not going to ascribe blame here or any of that stuff. It's part of the sport, though, to make sure that your score is correct, and we'll just leave it at that for now. We'll have more to say about that maybe next week in a separate discussion. Okay, so that's it for the compound men. Any other thoughts on the conditions that were faced by the compound men this week?
Pretty healthy wind out there, George. It was tough for a lot of shooters. I know a lot of
there was rain and hail falling at one point.
I talked to Sebastian Pinot, who's a top-level compound shooter, and he actually said he had, in the hail, he had a 5 and a 6 on that end, and that ended his tournament. So,
and that's understandable. I mean, it's
literally 2 minutes of hail.
It's a difficult situation. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up the actual final round brackets for the recurve women so that we can closely look at who got where, how. First of all, Ida Rahman had been dropped by Lin Xie of Chinese Taipei, who finds herself in the gold medal final. After having gone through Ida Rahman, she then had to defeat Laxmi Maji of India, and now she'll find herself up against the great Kibo Bay.
Yeah, and it should be noted, these girls, we talk a lot about recurve set system and how it can oftentimes award lesser shooter, but these girls are ranked 1 and 2 after qualifications. They had the highest qualification scores, and despite the set system, they're still going to be in the gold and silver, or the gold medal match.
And in fact, the highest shooter who made it to the quarterfinals was Laxmi Maji of India, who had been 52nd. Everybody else is 14 or higher.
Yeah, and looking at her 2 rounds here, I mean, she had a lot of 28s and 29s. She had some really good shooting. Yeah,
in the win.
Despite her ranking, I think she more than belonged there.
The quarterfinalists were Lin Xie of Chinese Taipei, who will be shooting for gold. Ida Rahman of Mexico got eliminated. Alejandra Valencia of Mexico was eliminated against Laxmi Maji of India back in the quarterfinals. Veronika Marchenko of Ukraine was 14th. She got eliminated by Choi Misun of Korea, number 6. Katuna Narabanitsi of Georgia was 10th, and she got eliminated by Kibo Bay. Then in the semifinals, we had Lin Xie of Chinese Taipei defeat Miss Maji of India, and we had Miss Choi of Korea be defeated by her teammate Kibo Bay in a shoot-off. And they both shot 9s, but Kibo Bay's was closer to center. So now it's going to be Kibo Bay of Korea versus Lin Xie of Chinese Taipei. But here was the shocker for this event. The women of Chinese Taipei, they didn't make their Olympic qualifying slot as a team, which is a shock.
Huge
because they're some of the best.
Yeah, probably a team that could contend for a medal, and to not even qualify a full quota is, as you say, it's a shocker.
Yeah. The bronze medal match is going to be Miss Choi of Korea versus Miss Maji of India, and I would have to say Miss Choi has the advantage going into that one.
Yeah, the Korean shooters always seem to shoot incredibly strong in bronze medal matches especially.
But I personally think that the gold medal match is completely unpredictable. We will have a very interesting time seeing what happens.
Yeah, that should be one of the most exciting matches of the whole tournament, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Moving on to the recurve men. All right, we had a bunch of heavy hitters in here. Let's just run through in no particular order. The number 1 seed was Mauro Nespoli. He came up against number 8, Takaharu Furukawa, who handily defeated him 6-0.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, and the rest of the matches on the field lasted a long time, but Takaharu made quick work of Nespoli.
Just went through him like butter. So, that was really tough conditions, but Furukawa held it together. He shot very well, 29, 29, 29.
Yeah.
In strong wind. And Nespoli started out weak and didn't get a whole lot better. He started out with a 26, 27, 28. And when you're shooting against a guy shooting 29s on you, dropping 2 10s and a 9 every time, it's not going to cut it.
No, not in that kind of weather.
Now, Marcos de Almeida of Brazil, the young guy from Brazil who's already pretty much assured representing his home country at the Games in Rio next year, came up against Rick van der Ven and came up a bit short. Rick took him out 7-3, so Marcus didn't just roll over. It wasn't a 6 blank like the match we just talked about. It was 7-3, so Marcus put up a fight.
Yeah, it's good to see Marcus shooting well after a really, really rough start to his season. And should be noted, Rick actually in the round before this had a very tough match against his teammate Chef Vandenberg and came away with a win on a 1-arrow shoot-off that was decided by maybe a couple millimeters, and they were almost identical arrows, both just out to the right, and then moved through and had a bit of a tough one against Marcus, but Rick's shooting really good right now.
Elias Malave of Venezuela was ranked 51st, and he found himself up against 59th ranked Mangal Singh Champia of India. And at the end of that one, it was a 6-4 victory for Mr. Malave. And then Brady Ellison had to take on Kim Woo-jin.
Yeah, and they had a close match. Brady had it at 4-4, and
then he dropped to 25.
Yeah, he had one bad arrow where he said he fired it and it hit right behind the pin. It was a 6 out to the left, meaning didn't move in the wind as he thought it would. Maybe the wind had just died at that very moment or whatever it was. But, yeah, it was a tough way for him to go because he was throwing down 10s when he needed to, shooting pretty strong.
The thing is, Kim Woo-jin was not unstoppable in this match. Brady could have definitely hung with him.
Yeah.
Because they both started out with 28s. Then Brady shot at 26 when Kim shot at 28. Now it's set play, so now you got 2 set points in favor of Kim. Next end, it's a tie, 24-24. Now 24 is weak, even in the wind. For these guys at this level, 24 is not their best, right?
Yeah.
Because these other guys who are shooting at the same time were shooting 30s, 28s, 26s. This is at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I think maybe these two both had, a little nerves. They're two of the better shooters on the field, obviously.
Kim Woo-jin looks over at Brady Ellison and goes, "Oh my goodness, I'm shooting against Brady Ellison." And
in the quarterfinals, they go, "Wow, this guy's good. Hey, wow, this guy's good."
But in the end, Brady finished with a 25. Kim shot at 27. That was all she wrote. And then Kim went on to defeat Mr. Malave in the semifinals, setting us up for a final round after the revenge of London 2012. Because back in London 2012, Takaharu Furukawa defeated Rick van der Ven in the semifinal to move on to the gold medal match, where he was eventually won the silver medal against Oh Jin-hyuk of Korea, while van der Ven lost to the archer from China, Dai Zhazhang. And that stings. 4th place stings.
Yeah.
And
so
Rick came back at this event, shot the semifinal match, defeated his friend, my friend, Takaharu Furukawa, and now finds himself in the gold medal final, and he's going to be the crowd favorite because he's the closest thing to somebody from Scandinavia that we're going to find around here.
Yeah, Rick reversed the fixture against Takaharu, shooting against Kim Woo-jin. I'll say that Rick yesterday, I watched both these guys real close. Rick was shooting stronger, but I will say that I think Kim Woo-jin wasn't on top of his game. He was on the low end of his range, and if he has his best stuff tomorrow and Rick has his best stuff tomorrow, it's going to be fireworks.
I'm predicting a blowout in favor of Kim Woo-jin. And for the bronze medal, I'm predicting a blowout in favor of Takaharu Furukawa.
Agreed there.
Okay. So, bold words, right? But here we go. So, just to wrap up, let's look at what it's been like and where we're headed. What it's been like. It has been winter in Scandinavia.
Yeah, absolutely. This is... we haven't been above 70 degrees.
Frogs and grasshoppers. That's the only thing we haven't seen fall from the sky.
Right. Rain, sleet, hail.
I did see a seagull crash.
There was no snow yet, but it's and that's not the worst of it. I think, these shooters would be fine with a little wet weather, but the wind is what really has just made this a tough affair.
The wind beats you right up, doesn't it? It's cold wind, too. It's not it's not freezing, okay? It's not going to make your fingers numb. But it saps the strength, and it really causes you to feel sore after you've been in it for a while.
It makes you not want to step out from under the tent.
Yeah.
To go out and have to shoot 3 arrows. I see a lot of shooters quickening their pace. They're not shooting how they normally would, and that's never a good thing. And a wind like that and a rain like that combined makes for a long day.
Yeah, it does. So our sympathies and our certainly our understanding to all the great shooters who may have felt like maybe they fell short here, because this was a real challenge of weather and of nature, and perhaps not what everyone was trained for, but some people did, and they're the ones who've risen to the top.
Yeah, it's 2 editions in a row where it's been really bad.
Belek was bad. Belek, Turkey was really windy.
It was incredible wind, and then here it's just been a little bit of everything. We talked about looking ahead. 2017 in Mexico City. Conditions there are likely going to be more ideal if you go off of you don't step outside the hotel in Mexico and see a windmill.
True enough. Now, with that said, it's been a great venue. It's been great people. The volunteers have been fantastic here in Scandinavia, in Denmark. And we are looking forward to the next 2 days, which will be the finals. Steve and I, have also been live on YouTube. Go to archery.tv for coverage of the previous week's matches. Steve and I, and Juan Carlos Holgado and John Knott and many other People from the archery community have been doing live commentary on YouTube. We had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, we enjoyed it. A lot of people participating and commenting to us, and good banter back and forth.
We had our boss listen in, and I think we still have our jobs.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. He he's a cool guy, but you wonder sometimes, are these jokes okay? Well, but he's okay with it, so we're good. So we're going to wrap it up from the Bella Sky Hotel here in lovely Copenhagen. They call it wonderful
Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And sure enough, it is.
It is a very nice city. I could live here.
I really enjoyed getting downtown to get some pizza the other night with you and with Doug Denton and the rest of our crew. And maybe we'll have to do that again this weekend before this is all out. So from Copenhagen, I'm George Tekmitchov with Steve the
Big Cat
Anderson. We'll get back to you soon. Thanks for joining us here on Easton Podcast EP02.